Well, I'm Jen. I like to bake. It's all for fun. Today I'm gonna make some chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. They taste like Reese's. They're one of my favorites. So if you're a fan of Reese's, these are the cupcakes for you.
Cool.
So I'm gonna start out just like, my biggest baking tip is have everything handy. Like, I don't necessarily measure everything out ahead of time, but I usually pull it out of the cupboard so that I'm not running. I mean, sometimes I run around like a chicken with my head cut off, but not always. This recipe calls for buttermilk, and you can't buy buttermilk unless it's in like a giant jug, and I don't need very much. So I always use a hack of just using 2% milk, and then you just add like a tablespoon of lemon juice in it and let it sit for a while, and it'll thicken up into a buttermilk thing.
What is that? What's the science behind that? Or what makes buttermilk?
It's the acid in it, so you're just adding acid, which is lemon juice, to the milk, which makes it thicker. Essentially kind of gives it a little bit of a sour taste to it. I'm boiling water. I'm gonna mix some espresso powder into it. Adding coffee to your chocolate cakes is like one of the things that takes it to that like next level. You don't know, like, you can't taste the coffee in there, but it adds to like the richness of the chocolate. I'm really obsessed with cinnamon. So then, like, you just mix it in, and that's the batter. You have to do this part slow. I'm notorious for like getting in a hurry at this point and making a mess. It depends on the recipe. Some you can do like 3/4 full. I try to aim for like 2/3 to 3/4. So I'm just kind of like cleaning up the tray so that I don't get a whole bunch of burnt bits. Even with cake, sometimes like you don't want to open the oven door until you're pretty much sure that it's done, because like it messes up the reaction and your cake falls flat. Alexa set a timer for 18 minutes. Like, a lot more than one.
Yeah. There's the, like, she'll find like candy straws. So she melted down a bunch of like Jolly Ranchers and kind of rolled them up to make straws out of them.
This might cease and be an epic fail. So right now I'm making ganache. Which is just a 1-to-1 mixture of chocolate and cream. So I heated the cream up, and then you just melt the chocolate into it, and it's gonna make a delicious topping.
Yummo.
Yeah, so I just look to make sure it comes out clean.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah, so I usually let them cool in the pan for a couple of minutes. It kind of like lets them stabilize.
Yeah.
And then I'll pull them out and put them on a rack to finish cooling.
Cool. And it's funny, just people, I think it's personality.
So I'm gonna fill it with hot water and then like pour it out, and then you put the hot glass over the butter, and it's supposed to soften it the rest of the way. That's my like chemistry degree hands. So we'll see. We'll see. It may need to sit in the fridge anyway, depending on how loose it gets.
So what are you looking for there?
So like, really I'm looking for it to be like super light and fluffy, but it also like, kind of how I know it's there is that the butter actually gets lighter in color. Okay, I'm gonna add a cup of peanut butter. Tip for this is like do your powdered sugar in batches. So like I'm adding 2 cups total, but I'm gonna do 1 cup, mix it in. Like if you add your sugar in smaller batches, you could you get like a more consistent texture. It's creamier. I love this frosting. Like if you're a peanut butter lover,
yeah,
like this frosting.
And it's easy.
Yeah, it's just butter and peanut butter and powdered sugar, and I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream to it, but I've done it where like I didn't have heavy cream, and so like I just use milk, and it's not quite as like fluffy, yeah, but it still tastes delicious. Roasted peanuts. So like kind of what I'm looking for is like that it's all kind of staying together, and when I like kind of flip it, it holds.
Okay.
Like if it were falling, I'd probably stick it in the fridge for a few minutes to like firm up the butter.
Cool.
So this is like something you can do for your piping bags if you're by yourself. Because I have a tendency to like overfill them. And so if I do this, like I know this much isn't gonna have any frosting on it.
Yeah. And that's
super coordinated.
Exactly. And like that in general seems like a pro tip in that holding the bag and trying to do it is just a pain.
One of the tips is like to not like hold the bag in the middle. Like you want to hold it from the top. Like if you have to guide it with your fingers, but don't like squeeze it because you're gonna heat it up with your hands, and it'll mess with your texture.
Genius.
And like to make it end, like I just push it down a little bit, and then it makes a nice little end.
Yeah, and a little star on the...
Yeah. Chocolate and peanut butter isn't enough if you don't like add a little bit more chocolate.
You never have too much chocolate.
And look how pretty. So like you don't even need a squeeze bottle. You could totally do it with a spoon or like a Ziploc bag.
But so much fancier this way. And fun.
I feel like it's less messy, at least for me.
And then once you get them, you're like, I can't live without this.
Like, the only thing I like really was like, I need that they turn out pretty like this, but there's usually like stuff everywhere.
I was saying, you know, you were saying how messy you are, but I'm not.
You missed the like powdered sugar explosion.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, you can do that here. Squeeze it out.
That's funny.
Nice.
Yeah, the texture, like it's like a light cake.
It's that like